welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Sacred Union Energy mini reading. So I don't know if it's just me. As you can see, I already have the cards out because I want to see what's going on. I don't know if it's just me, but I am feeling highly emotional, especially when it comes to this connection. I've been doing so good. And today it just feels like there's so much emotional energy that's being experienced, especially between the two counterparts. For me, there's a lot of root chakra activity that's going on. I'm hearing the word stabilizing. There's a lot of stabilizing energy. And so what they're saying now is there might be a lot of emotion that comes up to the surface as things are stabilized energetically. For me personally, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty stable. I'm feeling just, open and letting things unfold. Spirit's actually admonishing me. Maybe you're not as open as you think you are, Susan, they're saying. And I think it's true. I think that my heart has been a little bit guarded. And this is having this emotional effect on me because I'm feeling a lot of emotions and I don't want to feel the emotions. I'd rather be shut down right now because it feels like it's easier. But for the past couple of hours, all I've been seeing in my third eye is my Divine Masculine's eyes and the depth of love and the depth of emotion and the depth of each other, the depth of this connection, the soul of each other that we've always been able to see. There was one time early on in our journey when we had been separated, and when we reunited, we looked in each other's eyes, and there was that recognition, there was that familiarity again. There was just so much love, and it's almost like God, the universe, is calling me back to that. Remember the love, especially because there's been so much pain. In the most recent channeling, You're Closer to Union Than You've Ever Been, I highly recommend checking that out, or at least checking out the collective message to follow. We talked about how the masculine and the feminine are actually mirroring each other in how they're experiencing this connection, especially with regards to the pain that has come up between the two. It's not that you've caused each other pain. It's that you projected your own pain onto each other and onto this connection. And it's almost like that's where the betrayal actually is. So in that message, in that reading, we had channeled that the masculine is feeling betrayed by the feminine because he sees her as moving on. And it's triggering his own abandonment wounds. Divine feminine is feeling betrayed by the masculine because she's feeling like, well, you pushed me to that. You pushed me. I tried and I tried and I tried, and you pushed me to that. At the higher level, you're in the separation because of your own healing journeys, because it required you to go to your separate corners, so to speak. Check out that reading for that analogy. To go to your separate corners to really understand yourself and reflect without the projection onto the other. Because if you continue to project onto the other, then it would do more damage, especially to the energy that's being experienced between you both. And so you needed to kind of separate, perceive separation, because remember, you're never separate. You really truly are always one. You really truly are always in union. But what happens is you have to experience that separation in the physical in order for your human selves not to be so caught up in the patterns and the projections and the triggers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so what they're actually bringing in now is, yes, your human selves are feeling this betrayal towards each other, but at the higher level, you're really feeling betrayed as a whole, possibly even from the journey, they're saying, possibly even from the journey. But that is what is healing. That is what is realigning right now. And so you're being called to remember the love. And if you've been a little bit shut down and guarded, like myself, I will fully say that I found myself getting back into work mode, getting back into just trying to focus on what I need to focus on, so that I can just figure out the best path forward for my life. But in doing that, I kind of shut down a little bit. It's getting back to the love. Get back to the love. Keep opening your heart. Now, that's not to say that you open your heart to the same patterns and behaviors, to the same treatment. You allow yourself to have those healthy boundaries because, remember, you're in a new energy. you're in a different energy. They reminded me of the channeling that I did, the collective message that I did just a couple of days ago on Instagram. I think it's also here on the community post. They said it in a really beautiful way. Um, they said they were talking about manifesting and bringing in your desires and bringing in your dreams. And they said, you're being asked now to release the energy of the old version of yourself who had once held that desire. Not because the dream or the desire isn't worthy of you, but because the new energy is what's going to bring it into physical form. The old version of yourself had the vision. The new version of yourself is what aligns it to your physical experience. And so they're saying, remember that you are a new version of yourself. You are a different consciousness. You've called in your higher self. You're anchoring that in. You're rooting that in. You're stabilizing that. You're embodying that now. You're not the old energy of the past. It's just your ego that fears the patterns replaying itself. Allow yourself to open your heart, especially opening your heart and expanding in the energy of love. And so they keep calling me to that vision of my divine masculine's eyes, remembering the love that's between us. And it's like, okay, what do I do with that? What do I do with that? And hold steady is what they keep saying. Just hold steady. Allow yourself to open up within yourself. Doesn't mean that you have to actually do anything. That's not your job. You've done your job. You're just meant to keep opening up your heart as the divine feminine. Don't get into that over masculinated energy of, I've got to take care of myself because no one's going to do it. I've got to work and focus on my work because what else do I have? It's that energy. It's allow yourself to continue to care for yourself, nurture yourself, love yourself. And the more you do that, the more you're opening up to the universe and inviting the universe in to love you. Because the universe always loves you. God always loves you. So allow yourself to receive that. That's where your energy should be, divine feminine, allowing yourself to receive and not guarding your heart. So I wanted to check in on what's going on, and the cards are really interesting. That's why I wanted to hop on and actually do a reading for this, for the collective, because what was coming through was really interesting. We're going to start with the divine, we're going to start with the divine masculine. So Divine Masculine is closing out a very big cycle. But with the World card here, I do feel like it's successful. They're being successful in this transformation, in this ending. Now, this could be a number of things. This could be closing out karmic cycles, patterns within themselves. When I asked for clarity, we got the Four of Wands, the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is piggybacking off of that most recent collective reading, the you're closer to union than you've ever been, because I really feel like with this ending that they've experienced, we'll get to that in a second, with this ending that they've experienced, with this transformation that they're undergoing currently, what they're bringing in is more stability. They are clearing themselves of that anxiety. They're breaking free from that false imprisonment, that self-imprisonment, that imprisonment of the mind, that prison of the ego, and they're really focused on working on themselves. Now, I feel Divine Feminine, this is where you've kind of gotten caught up in your own inner masculine energy, where you might have gotten caught back up in working, in, feeling the ego, in, the concern of the future, that kind of thing. But it's only because you're feeling your inner masculine really stepping up, and almost like they're taking control of their lives. Again, it's that callback to that recent reading we did. They're really learning how to take control of their lives and take control of their own mind. And I feel like this is a lot of self-development. We did this that came through in the Patreon reading as well. Patreon is free and publicly accessible this month, so do make sure that you're checking it out. I'll put a link to that in the description box, where this individual is really, doing that self-reflective work, really doing that self-actualization and development. They are perhaps taking courses, listening to podcasts, reading books, anything that is really helping them understand themselves and their patterns and heal their pain, their trauma, their beliefs, anything that just isn't serving them anymore. That's part of this transformation. That's part of this cycle that they're closing out. And what that's doing is it's bringing in more of a foundation of stability, and also allowing them to, where they had maybe feared commitment in the past, there is allowing them to really understand what commitment truly is. Commitment is not a prison. That's where they were getting themselves caught up. Commitment is committing to yourself, allowing yourself to be so fully connected to yourself that it allows you to be loyal and devoted to another. Not in a codependent way, but in a very interdependent way, where you're so whole within yourself, you're so connected to yourself that you know what you have to offer. And you can offer that freely between you two, beautifully freely between you two, because healthy, secure connections really are about having that sense of freedom and nurturing that sense of freedom between you two in a healthy, committed relationship. And I feel like that's what they're really beginning to understand. There's this sense of commitment, loyalty, and stability that's really coming through here. And I feel like that's because they are freeing themselves from their own shackles and really working on themselves, really working to free themselves where they had been trapped in their mind. And I feel like they're beginning to really understand where they had kept themselves prisoner in their own mind. What's beautiful about this is we have the Awakening card at the bottom of the deck. Actually, it mirrors the Divine Feminine. When I stopped shuffling for the Divine Feminine, we had the Judgment card on the bottom of the deck as well. So they're going through this heart chakra awakening, seeing things from a different perspective, seeing this connection from a different perspective, seeing their life from a different perspective, seeing themselves from a different perspective. And as they shift that perspective and they shift that consciousness, they're shifting how they see you and this connection, Divine Feminine. And I feel, oh my gosh, I just feel this like influx of love within the heart space, because they're beginning to really understand that love had always been there. Love had always been there. So where they had a guarded heart, now it's beginning to expand and open. And I feel, Divine Feminines, where you had been really open on your journey with regards to your heart, but the pain of this connection or the pain of this journey had really shut you down. And I feel like now it's opening again, because you're feeling your masculine's energy. You're feeling your masculine's heart open again. And I hear you, Divine Feminine, you're like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. But that's who you are, Divine Feminine. You are the open heart. And again, that's not to say that you accept mistreatment. That's not to say that you accept poor behavior. You have your healthy boundaries. You're in a new energy now. But who you are is that open heart naturally. You are that loving, open heart. So interesting energy for the Divine Masculine, closing out a cycle. I'm not getting a lot for the Divine Masculine because I don't feel like they're the focus right now. I feel like they're kind of head down, going through their own journey. I feel like the focus right now is for the Divine Feminine. So we're going to move over here. So we have, sure enough, the Emperor. We have the Five of Swords. I'm going to start with these cards first. We have to clarify that the Devil, the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. So this is kind of what I was saying. Divine Feminines, you might have stepped back into your masculine energy a little bit. Now remember, you are different. You're in a different energy, but sometimes it's a spiral, right? This ascension journey is a spiral. So sometimes we go back into old patterns to clear away what is left, to clear away what is there. And it's our awareness that allows us to really move through those cycles. So I feel like the Emperor, it's like, I feel like you might have stepped back into that masculine energy of, you know what, I've got to take care of myself. Nobody's going to take care of me for me. I've got this. I can just focus on work. I can do this. I can do that. It's the masculine energy. It's like you stepped out of your Divine Feminine core essence to step up as your own masculine. And that's fine, because we have both energies, but this feels like it's out of balance. Where before you were in balance with your masculine and your feminine, this feels like you kind of tipped the scales a little bit back into your masculine energy. And that's only because of the ego. The Five of Swords for me is the mind versus the heart. It's the ego energy that comes through, that you're fighting against. And I feel like it's because the ego kind of stepped in and it kind of brought you back to this place. And that's okay. Again, compassion and love for yourself and nurture yourself, and just be aware of it so that you can shift back into that center. You can shift back into that balance for yourself. This is, you're human. Do not negate yourself. Do not, chastise yourself or criticize yourself if you slip up. It's just for your awareness, for where there's more clearing to do, or where there is, I don't even want to say the words work to do, because Divine Feminines, we're so freaking sick of the work, right? But it's just so that you can see where to get yourself back in balance. So if you're in the masculine energy, bring yourself back to the feminine energy. Use dance and movement or music. do some self-care, do some journaling or something creative. Just allow yourself to let that feminine energy to flow again, to bring yourself back into that balance. Because I feel like the ego kind of got the better of you, maybe even just the past 24 hours or so. Um, so with the devil card, it was interesting. The devil actually came up in reverse. And then we have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. And so I feel like what this is actually doing is it's helping you release even more of that attachment. And what's interesting is you have the Eight of Swords here and the Nine of Swords here. So you guys are really mirroring each other and how you're feeling about this connection, the anxiety and the fears that you have about this connection. But with the Devil here, I feel like it's helping you to release that and become more of that Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. There's so much mirroring that's happening here. But Divine Feminines, I feel like divine masculines are really focused on building that foundation and focused on themselves and their inner world. You've built that foundation for yourself, and so I feel like this was almost like maybe stepping back into that hyper independence energy. Again, I can take care of it myself, I can do it all myself, I don't need anybody. That's not feminine energy. That's not even what we're meant to be here for. We're meant to support each other and love each other. But when it comes to connections with each other, but when it comes to your own personal connection, be in that energy of balance. Allow yourself to come back into your wholeness, because I feel like there's this imbalance that was happening here. So with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like it was almost like it's almost like what I'm getting is like you're feeling the connection again and you're afraid of the connection. You're afraid of this. When I had channeled even more or clarified even more, we have the Two of Cups, the Hermit, and the King of Cups. It's almost like you're afraid of this. It's almost like, and I'm getting so emotional now, it's almost like you're so afraid to open up your heart to this connection again. You're afraid of this partnership. You're afraid of this becoming reality. Because what if the past comes up again? What if all those toxic behaviors and patterns come up again? What if this isn't real? It's like you're getting so caught up in your mind again, and that's throwing you into your masculine energy, this defensiveness, this guardedness, this almost like pushing them away. I don't need this. I don't need you because I can take care of myself. And it's because you're so deeply, I feel like, scarred by this journey. And the things that were experienced, again, not because there was any intentional harm or cruelty, but because of the karma that was created, because of, you've done so much healing work, but sometimes it creates its own karmic cycle. And so I feel like there's just this fear of the past coming up again. And you see how his eyes are closed, and it's like, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that this is what he's going to be like again. Number one, this is you, Divine Feminine, closing off your heart, not wanting to see, but also I feel like this is how you're viewing your masculine, afraid that he's never going to come forward, that he's never going to open up his heart. But what I love about this is you have this drop of water here, and this is the crown, and what I'm getting is being anointed. I feel like the masculine is being anointed, and that's part of the awakening energy, being anointed in the energy of love, in the energy of higher love, because of the transformation that they're going through. And so it's like this purifying energy, it's this clearing energy, clearing all the past, especially the past emotions, that just creates these rocky waters in order to come into this beautiful flow. And I'm just getting drawn to the energy that's coming through here as well. It's like this baptism, for lack of a better word, where what I'm hearing is like the sins of the past being cleared away, the energy of the past being cleared away. And I feel like, Divine Feminines, it's like you're so afraid of the past repeating itself because it had repeated itself so many times. Just allow yourself to have that open heart. Allow yourself to go within and trust yourself. Trust your inner masculine. I feel like you've kind of got into that, like, I can only trust my inner masculine. So allow yourself to trust your inner masculine, but allow that to expand. Allow that to expand. Because you are worthy of partnership. You are worthy of connection. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of connection, this beautiful, sacred connection, and that is what it truly is, and that's what's really trying to come through. Um, I feel like with this King of Cups, it's almost like it's not your job. We had channeled this in the previous reading as well. It's not your job to mend this connection. It's not your job to heal your relationship. It's not your job to, or your responsibility to be the one to always be expressing love and coming forward. Your job right now, because you have done so much of that healing work, learning how to express yourself, learning how to communicate in healthy ways, learning how to honor yourself and cherish yourself and love yourself and recognize your worth. You have healed so much of that attachment, so much of that abandonment, so much of the traumas and the triggers through your ascension journey. Your job right now is to be in receptive mode. The masculine is going through their own journey where they're learning how to step up and be the masculine, embody the masculine. And that's part of their journey that they're doing now. That's part of what they're anchoring in. That's part of what they're clearing. But you guys are really going through with the judgment here. Yeah, see, your job is to be able to receive. This is the masculine giving. This is you receiving. This is the beautiful infinite flow of love that exists between you. Your job is to be in receiving mode now, for it to be balanced, for there to be justice in this connection, for it to be reciprocated. So I feel like you're going through this awakening as well. You both are moving into this higher level of yourself, even though it doesn't feel it, even though it might feel a little bit emotional and shitty right now. You're both going through this higher level of awakening and expanding, and divine feminine, this is you. Just allow yourself to be. Just allow yourself to be in your receiving mode. There's nothing that you need to do as far as this connection. There's nothing that you need to do but just allow yourself to open up your heart again and being in that receiving mode. And I know it's so difficult because it's like, it feels almost easier when you shut your heart down. It feels almost more peaceful when you close your heart off because you feel the intensity of this connection. You feel their energy around you all the time. But Kuan Yin's coming in now and saying, allow yourself to step into the energy of compassion. Allow the love to flow between you. There's nothing that you need to do. There's nothing that you need to force. There's nothing that you need to control. All you have to do is just allow the energy to flow. And that requires you opening your heart, she's saying. That requires you opening your heart. And the only reason why it feels painful is because you're still caught up in that fear. If I open my heart again, I'm going to get hurt. If I open my heart again, there's going to be pain. If I open my heart again, the past is going to repeat itself. Just allow yourself to open your heart and let the energy flow, because that is what the sacred connection is. It is the flow of divine love moving through you both. All right, you guys, I'm not going to pull any other cards. I'm going to end it here. We'll see what happens over the weekend. We'll do some more check-ins over on Instagram, Facebook, and here on the community posts. I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Hang in there. You're doing amazing. This is a very difficult journey, but, you know, just keep your heart open. You are so, so, so dearly loved. Don't ever forget that.